So, right, I'm actually recording this on Wednesday the 17th. It's not the 21st yet, but we're probably going to, because it's Easter Sunday, we'll probably be busy doing something, so I don't think I'll be able to do the video, but I will be posting it on that particular day. Crazy. It's been it's going to be 3 years. It's weird to say without Prince, because he's like for those of us who still love him, listen to his music, he's still very much with us, like, all the time. And all these little things remind us of him, whether it's like everything with multiples of 7, the number 7, or even 17, because of 17 days. But yeah, it's been kind of a crazy year for a few different reasons. We got the piano microphone release, maybe not the one everybody wanted, but we did get something. And for me, it was brand new, so I really couldn't complain about it. But I made kind of a silly judgment. I'm like, I have to get this like the day it comes out, and I didn't trust all the places that sell CDs to have it, because a lot of places don't sell CDs anymore, as much as it annoys me. But I paid like extra shipping just would be there the day of, so I can get it at the same time as everybody else. And then I got it, I'm like, wait, I'm not going to be talking to anybody else about this until I form my own opinion. That's how it's always been. I think I've listened to it maybe 3 times, admittedly. Not because I don't like it. I thought it was an interesting release. And it makes you really appreciate him as a piano player, because people think he plays guitar if they think of any instrument. But yeah, he's so good at piano. I wish I had an inkling of that talent. I still really don't. I mean, Dr. Frank will tell the story how Prince would want him to like come up with a part for his left hand because it's not doing anything. My left hand never does anything when I play, and I'm trying to fix that. But it was just an interesting release, and had some things I really liked about it, some things I didn't. But yeah, can't complain too much. I mean, I have so much music that even if nothing new ever came out, I mean, I would be okay. Although I would be annoyed if the stuff came out like after I wasn't around to listen to it, or heck, I listen to music on my iPod so much I might lose my hearing before all that happens. And then some interesting stuff, like I went through his albums chronologically. In 2017, like, I was going to mark my fandom turning 10 years. And I finished in 2018, just the way it ended up going. And then some of the revelations I've had with the Rainbow Children, for example, it's like I kind of wish I had some of that while I was actually doing, like, the write-ups and scoring the albums and stuff like that. That one's a tricky one for me, just because I've heard so many interpretations. Like, it makes me think way too much, and some of it is not exactly pleasant, but I shut as much of that out as I could, and I did get something out of it finally, so I am happy about that, and kind of hate. It's not that I have to like everything he does, but it kind of bugs me when I don't like full albums for some silly reason that it has more to do with me than to do with him, that sort of thing. And then beyond that, I've started to expand my musical horizons a little bit. It kind of started with Owen Husney, his first manager, wrote a book about him, but also about other stories he'd had managing other events with other famous rock stars and stuff, like Jimi Hendrix. Like, that was an interesting story. And I didn't know anything about him other than he plays guitar and Prince is compared to him on guitar all the time, and that he's one of the first ever 27 Club. But it was just like hearing him talk about the Are You Experienced album and how he thought he wrote this album for people like me, like that generation in the 60s. So I think I was inspired by that in particular. It's like, I'll see what they have. Like FOE still carries CDs and stuff, and I'm grateful for that, because I got a lot of my Prince music through them. But they had a hits album, and then I saw Sly and the Family Stone for like $5, and like, I've been looking at this for years and thinking about, I'm going to finally get it. So I finished Jimi Hendrix. I listened through a couple songs at a time for a couple of days. And there's some songs I like, some I don't. Some really blew my mind, like Along the Watchtower. I think I've heard parts of it, but I've never heard the whole thing. Like, that kind of blew my mind. It was really good. And there were some other ones, I can't remember them now. But there are other ones that I really liked. And then I've been listening to Sly, just, again, a couple songs here and there. But I've been doing it, like, at work. Like, I'll hear a Prince song on the radio, and for whatever reason, like, this week it feels like daggers, like, in my heart. Just kind of, maybe because it's just really close to remembering that, like, he's mortal like the rest of us. But I would kind of, like, stave that away a little bit by listening to a couple of the songs, and I can understand why he liked them so much. Like, the music's, like, really cool, and you can hear the bass, like thundering in the background. That's really cool. And, like, bits and pieces of his sound I can find in there, so that's... I think I'm only did, like, 6 songs or so far, but I'm really impressed with it. And we have the Supernatural album by Santana, the one that was kind of the template for what Rave was supposed to be and kind of wasn't. I want to listen to that and compare the two and see where it should have gone opposed to where it did. So yeah, that'll be an interesting thing that I'll do later on. Other than that, I think that's it. Where we at here? We're at a little over almost 8 minutes. So this will probably be a good stopping point. Just hope everybody's staying positive, everybody's doing okay. Or life's just, like, keeping you busy or you've accepted everything. Like, I feel like it becomes a little more real as time passes, but at the same time, I'm still kind of in the in-between. Like, I listen to him, so his spirit's always kind of around. And I swear we still have conversations. Like I'll think of... I've been writing a bit more, and words would come out of nowhere, words I would never use to describe certain songs and albums. And then that's a project that's still ongoing, but I've really found a method that really works for me, that's been working for me. And I think I've finished at least 15 albums. I'm not doing every single one. I think there will be a couple I will leave off, just because they don't quite fit in the discography, or it's hard to talk about a live album like Indigo Nights. Like, I've listened to that a couple times, but it's kind of hard to, like, really put that into words, because live albums are a different animal entirely. Like, when I was going through the albums, I couldn't even give it a rating, because it's like, how can you rate a concert, right? Okay, we are at 9 minutes. Okay, so... Oh, and the Purple Nights podcast, where I'm going through my top 100 favorite Prince songs, that's finally getting posted. So hopefully by the time you see this video, it will be up, and everybody will get to listen to it. We practically ran through these 100 songs, and like I think we had 3 hours and I ran through them in 2 hours. I don't know how we managed to do it. But anyway, guess shout out to Chris who put that together. Shout out to the Peach and Black podcast. Shout out to Michael Dean's podcast. I've been listening to that. And Darling Nisi's Muse to the Pharaoh. That's been pretty interesting too. Got a lot out of that. And Night Child Ethereal is another podcaster person in the Prince world that's been putting stuff out there. So he's been great too. So anyway, that's it. Almost 11 minutes.